This is completely off topic, but why are Eric and Virginia still in the preview for, not preview, but the promo for Couples Camp? We know that Ben did, even when they were together. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Taste of Reality. My name is Queenie, for those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode 5. Pretty sure this is episode 5. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let's get into the review. I think starting with Zack and Michaela makes the most sense because there wasn't much about them. So Zack tested positive for COVID, which, like, it's a pandemic. So yes, I'm not surprised by it at all. But I'm also looking at Lifetime like, y'all were a little reckless with, the bachelor party, all this. I'm just saying. However, Michaela's response to it didn't make sense to me.
Like, I'm not just here to have a good time for my little son. I'm here because I want a husband, I want a relationship, and I wanted to live the rest of my living days with a man who wants to do it with me.
Listen, I don't know how he got it, so I'm not gonna say it's on him for being reckless. Okay? However, girl, it's a pandemic. How did you equate it to feeling rejected by him? It's not like he could say, oh, Rona, sorry, I'm going on a honeymoon. That's not how the COVID works, okay? You could, listen, my cousin works at a health facility and was doing her best to stay, safe, not going out to events and all that stuff, and still caught the vid. So, girl, there was no way around that. Ultimately, she had to go back to Houston and he had to quarantine in Florida. And she explains that it would have been nice for her to at least quarantine with him. Even if they weren't doing excursions or hanging out with other couples, at least they would be together. And I was like, okay, this I can understand. I saw a funny tweet on Twitter that was like, girl, you just met him. In sickness and in health hasn't kicked in yet. And I was like, yes, that's so true. Mind your health, sis, okay? You might not even still be married at this point. So aren't you glad now that you were separate? Or maybe you still wanted to have been with him, so that's on you. But if it were me, send me back home. I'm good. Moving on to Ryan and Brett. So they are having a conversation about children, and it's not necessarily just like, do you want kids, but more so the meaning behind having children. And Ryan is just not clued in to the conversation.
How bad do I want them, and like, why do I want them,
Yeah. So change of subject.
Intimacy doesn't start in the bedroom. As a 35-year-old, you should know this. And the fact that you can't have a conversation that isn't just about, okay, but when are we gonna progress? When are we gonna get physical? When are we gonna, sir, there's more to marriage than just that, okay? And I feel like she was having a vulnerable moment, kind of sharing, I don't want to just have children just to have children. I want to make sure that my life is fulfilled in having children and that our marriage still flourishes and we're not just reduced to being so-and-so's parents, She's unsure if she's going too slow or not. And I feel like right now they're doing pretty well. They're physical with each other. They still kiss, like they hold each other and stuff. She's able to have open conversations. And this man's talking about, oh, we'll see where we're at in 3 days. What the hell is happening in 3 days? I hope you know if she's still in the same place, you just gonna have to be okay with that. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, he's got to be a little bit more attentive when he's having conversations with her. I think because he's so used to being a serial dater, it's weird to not just, skip all the mundane stuff and get to where he wants to be. But there's so much more building that needs to happen before we get there. Later on in the episode, she explains that having children is deeper than just being a mom, and it's about being a family union, even if that excludes having children. And then you see Ryan's face like, yo, what you mean by that? But I totally understand what she's saying. Just with the world that we live in, especially, It's hard to just have children because it's the married thing to do. It really has to be something that fulfills you in life. It has to be something that you're willing to give your all into. And if she's not there, then she's not there. And if that doesn't work for you, then that's fine. You go and you find yourself a different partner. But it would be worse if she has children out of obligation and then later on regrets that decision. Plus, she's older in age right now, and she feels like, oh, maybe I should freeze my eggs. Maybe, like, I don't know what to do. So he's got to be more engaged in this conversation. He really has to, because he's gonna miss a very important part in building the relationship and building intimacy, and it's just gonna turn into one of his other potatoes, as his sister would say. Okay, let's do Bao and Johnny. So Bao and Johnny both have insecurities about their bodies. Bao also has an insecurity about her snoring. We're going to get to that in a second. When it comes to the physical attraction, though, they are both like, you are my type, okay? Don't even feel insecure about that. You are my type. And I'm learning through this show that, man, everybody's got insecurities, because you mean to tell me, what's her name? Bao, looking like she looking, is insecure about her body? And even Brett was talking about she's insecure. I'm like, girl, you got a set of knockers on you and your body is banging. What are you talking about? It's good that each person's partner is into each other. So hopefully those insecurities fall by the wayside. But let's talk about this snoring thing. Was Bao bullied as a kid? Because she was crying. She was crying at the thought that he heard her snoring at night, or that he would potentially hear her snoring this current night. Is it really that deep? I feel like it's not. It shouldn't be, especially when he has already said, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with all these things about you because it's what makes you you. I'm here for you. Whatever comes with that just comes with that. And the fact that she's really making it deeper than it needs to be is like, babe, don't self-sabotage. You already said that's something that you do. Don't do it. Johnny tries to plan a romantic date for Bao and commissions Jose. Because he wants to be like Jose. You want to be like okay. Oh, okay. Where was perfectionist Jose when it came to putting the clothing in a bag or something? Because I don't know if Johnny just stuffed everything in the bag. It was so wrinkled. His shirt was wrinkled. Her extra large shirt was wrinkled when that's all you could find? Are you serious? But yeah, the intention of the date was to see if she had feelings for Johnny the way that he has feelings for her. And essentially, she reciprocated.
Yeah, sometimes it's awkward, sometimes it feels romantic.
Well, I think the awkward is the fact that we literally have just known each other intimately for just a few days. But I definitely feel like what we are building right now is stronger than what I feel I've had in much longer relationships.
I have been seeing her be more physically affirming, which is good. And when he shared that he's been getting hot and cold vibes from her, she gave him more verbal affirmation, right? Which is good. They shared that they're both going to stop sabotaging, stop looking for problems, and really give this marriage a proper try. But here goes Bao being confusing, because at night he's saying he wants to get closer with her, and she's like, oh, I thought you liked the pillow. And he's like, no, like, we're married. Let's get closer together. And she chooses this opportunity to talk about the snoring and this opportunity to cry about it. And I'm like, I get it. Cool. It's almost as if she finds reasons to block intimacy. And I don't know if it's intimacy in general that scares her or intimacy with Johnny that scares her. But girl, at some point, you're going to run out of excuses and you're going to just have to dive in. And he's not saying, let's have sex tonight. He's saying, I just want to sleep by you. I just want to have a good vibe tonight. And now you want to come in and dampen the vibe? Bao, we're making good strides, okay? Let's just keep the momentum going, Okay, I don't think I've done Rachel and Jose yet. So Rachel says they need to learn each other's differences. And for some reason, Jose thinks that feeding his partner equates to him being a provider.
For me, on our wedding day, like we said vows. And so in that, I said that I wanted to be your provider, and as your husband, I want to make sure you're taken care of. And so for me, that's just a way of showing you that I want to take care of you.
See, last week or the week before, it was having sex with his partner is masculine. This week, it's feeding your partner shows that you're a provider. His reasoning for things really confuses me. And I wonder, like, does he just not really have a grasp on the deeper meanings of masculinity and being a provider and being the man of a house and stuff? Or is this actually what he thinks it means to be a provider, to be, I need to feed you. I need to brush your teeth. I need to, have sex with you to show you that I'm the man. Like, something ain't right here. And y'all who keep saying he part of the P flag, I cannot speak on that. Rachel shares her concerns about moving into Jose's home. And honestly, as long as he don't put you in a corner like Virginia with all them pets and all that stuff, I think you guys will be starting strong. I do share her sentiment, though, when she says it would feel like I'm another burden in your house that you have to tend to. Valid. It'll be nice to see how they function in the communal place that Lifetime sets up for them. But definitely this is a conversation that they're going to have throughout, because Virginia was adamant on saying, I'm not moving into you. Let's get our own into you. I'm not moving in with you. Let's get our own place. Look at them now. She also brings up their differing relationships with money and admits that she has a toxic relationship with money. She doesn't save very well. She uses her credit card a lot for big purchases, which a lot of people do. But basically her financial literacy is small is at a deficit in compared to his. And he starts to see that as a red flag, because to him, he feels like in marriage, they should be joint accounts. Now, whether or not joint accounts works for you is up to you, right? But being this early in the relationship, obviously that's not going to be the case, right? And I just wonder, how bad is her spending? Is it so bad that some bills go unattended to because she would rather spend on something luxurious, Or is it just that she's able to take a chunk out of each paycheck, put it in the pot, and then he can allocate where those funds go? Because I do think it is smart to have him be in charge of the finances, but to want complete autonomy, I don't know. It's definitely giving allowance for somebody like Rachel, because she prides herself on being independent, prides herself on, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to be good. And if you have a hold on my finances, that don't make her feel good. That don't make her feel independent. So the best format will be mixed, both independent and joint bank accounts. But I kind of want to go further into how bad is her money story, just so we get a clearer picture on like what would be the better route for the two of them. It's not all negative with these two. They had a cute little fishing date. She was kind of out of her element, but eager to jump in. So that was good, unlike other couples. So let's just move on to Gil and Mirla. These two, like, they hurt my head. They really do hurt my head. I was going to start at the date, but let me just start at the beginning. Mirla's complaining has spilled over into the next morning, and it's getting tired.
I'm content. I'm more excited about just the marriage.
Oh, okay.
I'm so focused on trying to get to know you better.
But wouldn't it be nicer to get to know me if we were laying on the beach?
No.
In his confessional, he already looks dead inside, you guys. He already looks dead inside. I don't know who else peeped, but I was like, the poor man is suffering in silence. Well, not really silence, because he's very vocal about it. And this is one cardinal rule that every married person should know. Never bash your partner in their absence, okay? I don't know who he thought he was, throwing dirt on Mirla's name when she can't be there to defend herself. And then And then to like make jokes like, oh, here's Mirla, the friggin' volleyball. She's high maintenance, but can you stop? Can you stop? Because now you're embarrassing yourself. Now you look like you're more of a villain than she is, because at least she owns up to being, a whiner, a complainer. It's not cute. We're over it. But at least she admits that. You're kind of looking like you're on your high horse talking about, well, I'm content about everything and there's no problems here. And she was right in saying there's no way you're fine with every single thing about this. It's okay for him to make do with the situation, but don't make it seem like you're better than her and like she's the problem, she's the whiner, she's whatever. We're sure you have your pitfalls too. One thing he's also vocal about is the lack of kissing. You're not gonna get that from Mirla, okay? You're just not gonna get that. Especially when y'all have this weird banter that consists of throwing jabs at each other. For longer standing couples, I feel like it works. For new couples, it runs the risk of turning sour very quickly. That's just my opinion. I cannot tell if his want to kiss her is out of feelings of rejection or out of a bruised ego. Maybe a mixture of both. I don't know. But she further bruises his ego and basically says she would not accept a sentimental gift over an expensive one. And I'm like, okay, the quilt is a no for me too. But if it was something actually meaningful that has something to do with me or something I've said, my history, my family, something, cool. But I'm like, Mirla, you're really giving insufferable, really and truly. And cut it out. He has not been in a relationship for 6 years, and it shows. It shows in the way that he talks about her in the absence. It shows in the way that he gets fixated on certain things rather than them just trying to build. Like, you already know that she's kind of high strung. She's kind of closed off. So try to build a connection, He planned a date, and the date, to somebody who's like a thrill seeker or somebody else, I feel like the date would have been cute, but you don't know this girl. If you're going to do a surprise on somebody who's already kind of rigid, do something like a dinner date. Do something like we're going to the aquarium. But to take her on a seaplane, and to add to it, she has motion sickness, which whether or not he knew about that, it's still like, And I don't know if she was playing it up either, because I was like, you look fine. You look okay. There's just too much clashing between these two. Don't see them working out. Don't even see them making it to decision day, if I'm being completely honest. It's just too much. They're just too polar opposite. Y'all know what I'm saying. They're too far on the different ends of the spectrum. Why am I struggling tonight? Why am I struggling to speak? Their differences are too polarizing for them to come together. Okay? She wants to be wooed by some baller who, I don't know why she thought she'd find him on Lifetime. And he wants somebody who's okay with the simple life and is just wanting to be together and just go with the flow. She's not it. She's not it. The sooner they realize that it just ain't gonna work, the better it'll be for all of us. So that is all I have for this week. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments how you feel about each couple. Guys, essays, I don't read them. I don't. So if you want a response from me, if I gotta scroll through the comment, babe, it's not gonna happen. Okay, it's not gonna happen. But I do enjoy your guys' commentary. Until next week, I'll see you later. Yeah, it's just a rough night for your girl. Okay, I gotta go to bed.